Welcome folks to part 2 of Let's Play Prince of Persia. Now this has been delayed since early December and it's almost February, but I have to kind of bid farewell to this game because it's a piece of crap and it's just way too tough for my vernacular to get past. But this kind of happens to be the situation you're going to see very quickly in this stage as to the reasoning behind why I was unable to complete this game. There's 20 stages, and they pull out all the stops in the third stage. So, I mean, I had problems with the first stage. I was getting game overs on that back in November, and the controls are just too loose and unprofessional, and they don't have like enough, like, I mean, if it was like Blackthorn's controls, I could probably beat this game and do it easily. But unfortunately, that's just not the case. I mean, this is the older game. This one came out in '92, so it just doesn't have like the same essence. But you know, obviously, I think part of what inspired me to play this was just how much I like Blackthorn. I was kind of looking for like some sort of pseudo spin off of that. But if you pay attention here, you have to really make sure you don't fall to your death. That's the whole thing that Prince of Persia has to make sure. But the thing about it is he falls to his death quite easily, like just like that. You have to hold the A button when you get to an edge just to make sure that he doesn't fall off so he can jump easier. But I'm not going to overly explain these controls. You're just going to have to take my word, just understanding the essence of how sloppy the gameplay is to be able to actually get through this sort of thing. It's not a very superb kind of way of approach, and honestly, I felt like the odds are just stacked against you. I mean, it is proven that there are people who can do it. You can find people who can beat this game up on YouTube, but I don't know how they do it. I mean, that's just the whole damn thing. It takes like a different type of skill. It takes like a different type of just like adhesiveness to be able to do it. And that's kind of the situation, or cohesive. You know, it's kind of, that's what you gotta say is just looking at it and it's kind of like, well, I mean, honestly, I'm all for a challenge. I mean, the impact of this game is like so well put together, but the execution is just so subpar. That is kind of the situation. I know if I can't beat stage 3, I know stage 5, stage 12, stage 18, those are probably going to be bastards, and then not to mention Jafar, the final boss. There's just an overabundance of stuff. I mean, I thought about it, and I thought about just skipping ahead to stage 4, but I don't know how many times I would like to sit there and do this sort of thing. You know, sit there and say I can only beat like 4 stages or 6 stages out of 20 or something. It's not the most resounding thing. So there's just too many things that the demons are just too large. But I don't know how much other things I'm going to really talk about because there's really no point to further points in this LP. This is kind of saying a write-off of what happens and then, you know, just wrapping things up because there's probably not going to be a part 3. I mean, I thought about, like I said, I thought about doing some other stages, but it just would be a very kind of Swiss cheese kind of playthrough, just because there'd be, you know, I might not do stage 4, could be stage 5, might not do stage 8, you know, so just if you're just looking for just a general run through, that's kind of what's going to happen. That's what you have to do. This is the point. If you can make that jump, the thing about it is they put it on a platform that falls underneath you, so you have to really be good with that jump, and I just can't figure out like the decisions that need to be made there, because unfortunately as soon as you touch that platform that gets ready to fall, it breaks. So I don't know when you're supposed to jump. I mean, you have to jump on that platform, but the controls are so sloppy, the execution feels like you're not jumping when you need to be. So that's the thing. I mean, the whole thing, Prince of Persia's jumping is pretty terrible. That's just what you have to understand. You cannot get to the edge and then jump. You have to press the jump button about a second or 2 before you get to the edge, and then it'll register. But it's really touchy, and it's very sensitive about when the jump will activate according to when you press the button. Because you can't press the jump button too soon either. You have to press it at the exact timing. You cannot press it too late, So you cannot wait until you get to the edge, but you can't do it too soon either. So there's like a very small window as to when you can do these jumps. And then on top of that, the platform at the very edge causes you to fall. And there's just not, I mean, I just said, no, you know what? They're pulling out too many stops way too early in the game. So, I basically wasted $25 here, but I'm just kind of like, fuck it, I don't know how many months or however long it would take. I mean, I could play this game day for day, week for week, month for month, and I don't know how people did it back in 1992, 1994, and shit. It was like hell. This is, of course, before the internet, of course, but, that's just the whole atmosphere. There's really, I don't know. I like the Prince of Persia series, though. I think I would like the ones for the PlayStation 2. Those are probably a lot more approachable. I might just have to fire one of those up one day, but I kind of felt like, hey, this has gameplay similar to Blackthorn. It's another adventure game. It's not a hop and bop little kiddo adventure. It just seems like something that would be right up my alley, but it really wasn't. There's no way of renting this game. I mean, this is a game that back in 1995 or so I would have rented and said, well, fuck this game. Maybe I would have wasted like $8 or $12 on it and then just said, I'm never going to beat this without a lot of effort. So I just would have to kind of say whatever, It's not like you have to beat every single video game that you attempt. But, see, I am pressing the jump button at that part. I don't know what they're trying to get you to do there. So, it's too bad. But at least you got an extra episode out of it. If you thought that I just randomly vanished into thin air, it's like, no, I've been trying to do this for the better part of December. And I did the gameplay for this like somewhere in January, and then that just happened to be the thing. So I at least attempted. But, okay, so there's more to the stage. You can get some health power-ups, because you'll definitely need them for guys like this. But once again, the controls are pretty cheap, and you have to know a pattern. You have two buttons to block and 2 buttons to attack, and I think A and Y are the attack buttons, and B and X are the block. It might be the other way around, though. But hey, it's Gary. Gary Nitro. It's a cousin of his or something, and he just completely cut me down. So I like that there are little, skeletons in this that can attack and that sort of thing. It's pretty dope. I mean, it's a redeeming quality about this game, but that's not saying much. It's like putting a sprinkle on a dog turd. At this point, it's not going to really help that much. So, for any person, but yeah, you have to understand that I've watched the demo of this game if you just let the game run for a while, and there are assholes in this game that have like 10 bottles of health, and you have to really know how to fight them. So that's just kind of the situation. I know this game would piss me off if I were to continue it, so I'm just like, yeah. I did beat the skeleton, then he killed me. So I'm just like, you know what? Whatever. I said I was going to do a little bit more, but that's it, folks. So, have a wonderful night. Hopefully you can find one of my other projects to mess with.